So she's a topic of discussion again. That's right, my friends, Belle Delphine is back. So if you've had access to the internet for a while now, you'll know who this OG e-girl is. If you don't, let me quickly sum her up for you. She's an adult creator with a twist. She went mega viral for pulling this face and posting videos just like this. Yes, that is a real sea alien. She also gave her actual blood to Willany and sold her bathwater. The fact those sentences can actually exist is mind-blowing. We are finished. But to get stuck into her recent proceedings, let's see her recent business model. Ever wanted to fuck me? That's on the internet forever. Now you can almost do that. I'm selling my very own customized sex doll. Of course you are, why wouldn't you? Including my own clothes and worn panties. Great fun for the whole family. If you ever wanted a stocking filler, here it is. But seriously, who is making this? Someone's genuinely studied whatever skill it takes to make one of these things. And then one day they woke up to an email about making a Belle Delphine doll. I genuinely hope she's paid them very well, but there is no price for this sin. And you may be thinking when I buy, or if I buy Belle Delphine, how on earth would you package a life-size human? And is my postman gonna know what it is? You don't want him getting jealous and stealing it. But don't worry, my friends, it's super inconspicuous. It's only shipped in a real coffin. Yes, that's right, a coffin. If you can look your delivery driver in the eye and sign for this parcel, there is nothing in your head. But let's be honest, there will be a market for this. This is the internet. She even describes it as her, but less annoying. This is perfect for men who don't know how to speak to women. I'm definitely not the target audience. I just merely yap to a camera. I promise I have not bought this. To be fair, being weird as fuck is on brand for Belle. But as weird as this is, it's harmless, right? It's just water, and anyone who buys it will just keep it in its little tub. No!
Yeah, as you can see, it's quite musky.
Have e-girls gone too far?
There are a lot of chunks in it.
You might have herpes.
Cheers.
I basically have herpes.
Yeah, I heard ego bathwater does this to people. I wouldn't know personally though. But anyway, I heard this video is Joe King. Everyone make sure you check up on him. Some faceless YouTubers are really out here revealing their toes before their face. He's not the only internet freak to consume this though. There were plenty of people using this for their own amusement. Good to see your dad's taking the divorce well. This bloke literally screams, "Mum, why can't we see dad?" But yeah, to be fair to Belle, it does seem like she is taking some sort of new direction with her content now. Well, she's definitely made an attempt to alter her public image by going on a podcast with Louis Theroux. If you don't know who he is, basically he's known for his quite gripping documentaries. He's done a lot of coverage on some quite controversial moments. But sadly, to a lot of people, he will be known for just his money not jiggling.
It doesn't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I want to see you wiggle wiggle. For sure, it makes me want to dribble dribble. You know.
Really inspiring, I know. But Belle Delphine decided to go onto this podcast and tell us some truths about herself. I do find it quite interesting to see the real side of these internet people. Like the whole persona of Belle Delphine is like e-girl final boss. So going on a podcast, talking in your normal voice and taking a step back from the pink hair dynamic, it's actually more daring than most people will think. But after some gripping topics of discussion...
They also call you the Queen of the Simps. Who came up with that?
Oh, I have no idea. Simp's basically just a very strong male fan of a woman who maybe has connotations of giving her money.
I'm sure you're all on the edge of your seat. She does go on a bit more to tell us how this life's actually affected her.
I wish there was a way to kill me on the internet and just like somehow delete everything or just kind of die in a sense.
Yeah, that's a bit heavy, that. And let's not forget, she's had an internet presence from about 2016. Not necessarily this avenue of content back then, because apparently she was born in 1999, so that would be a bit dangerous. Chances are she would have been 16 back then, which makes this all a lot worse. But also, this sort of occupation wasn't good for her family life either.
I have no dad, and I think my mum probably does regret.
I think their faces tell a story here. Genuinely, that is kind of sad. Everyone does things they regret in their life, but it just so happens that hers is very, very public. But to know that that has affected your family life as well has to be rough. But I will just say it's a bit contradictory to say all of this stuff is something that you wish was in the past and that you could change, but then release a life-size doll of yourself for people to use for their own pleasure. And when I say a little contradictory, I mean really fucking contradictory. You say you want to phase out and then release a splooge doll. You know, something's not quite adding up here. But I feel like I must stress that I am not a paying customer of anything Belle Delphine related. I've never subbed to her OnlyFans and I've never paid for her bathwater. There was something else I was told to tell you I didn't buy, but that appears to have slipped my mind. But you know, it's not always been plain sailing for Belle Delphine, Queen of the Simps. On this podcast, she was all like, oh, look at me, I made loads of money from selling my bathwater. But it turns out this wasn't entirely accurate, because she didn't make the profit margin that you think she would have done. In fact, she actually made a loss. Quite a heavy loss. Since it's been a couple of years now, I can finally share the biggest L I've ever taken. Not only did I not earn any money selling my bathwater, I in fact lost money doing it. At PayPal, without any warning, closed my PayPal account and took the 90 grand that I earned from selling my bathwater. Terrible news for the creepiest man you know. It's obviously awful news for Belle as well. Personally, not someone who's ever supported Belle financially, but losing 90 grand is insane. Especially as she goes on to say that she tried to phone them up, but they just told her there's nothing they can do. PayPal are about to have thousands of simps outside their headquarters with their neckbeards and cat ears. Actually, let's be honest, the type of people would probably try and defend her would probably not be going outside. You could imagine they'd just say something on Reddit instead. Just like this guy who was flabbergasted. Wait, PayPal just sees 90k from her? How can that be legal? He really wants his waifu to see this selfless act, because he even goes on to give some sort of legal advice. WTF? I'd be suing the F out of them. Where does the 90k go? They just keep it? But whilst many people would probably say the same thing, I'd suggest not taking advice from someone called Experienced Male Dom 2, the long-awaited sequel. But you've got Cornflakes here really putting things into perspective. She lost 90k, but has a net worth of 10 million. I'd say it worked out massively in her favour. Somebody rightfully so asked him to elaborate on the net worth figure, and unfortunately Cornflakes never replied. Cocoa Pops on top, my goat would always back it up. But for the mental torture I just put myself to get those screenshots, please do feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Belle Delphine Reddit fans is not a corner of the internet I'd recommend to anybody, but she does tell us that when she told us she made stonks from her bathwater, it was all a lie. She told us it would be better news just to say she got filthy rich. Well, no, you just didn't want to share the L. And to be fair, why would you? It's not really people's business. People don't really need to know that you've lost that much money, and I can imagine it was probably quite stressful and you didn't really want to tell anyone. But she then goes on to say she found it very funny at the time. Yeah guys, every time I lose 90k, I'm just laugh maxing. It's such a funny haha moment to lose 90k. After this, I'm gonna order £90,000 worth of cheese strings and send them to a YouTuber's house of your choice. But like the true sport that she is, she lets us know that she sent out all of the products even though she made no money. In fact, it actually costed her money. Yeah, because you really can't disappoint all those people who are waiting eagerly for their essential product. But I'm sure if Belle Delphine just dressed up in a certain way and told people that the bathwater machine broke, they'd probably buy it. They probably wouldn't care that they've been ripped off. It might even be something they're into, or so I've been told. But to be fair, if you're paying for an internet person's bathwater, or any person for that matter, you don't deserve money. You are dangerous enough to society without disposable income, and with it, you scare me. But all jokes aside, if I made all that money and then just had it just taken off me, I don't think I'd be particularly pleased. And then not even be in a position to offer refunds because you've had the money taken from your account? Well, I can tell you now, that is not a good position to be in. But Cornflakes from earlier might have actually been onto something, because all of this going on really made her a household name. It really made her a streets won't forget sort of creator. It really made her up there with Hatem Ben Arfa and Me Too. But this tweet got 1.6 million impressions. She is so back. We are in an era of Belle Delphine returning. But she does actually further elaborate about the money being taken from her. I apparently broke one of their TOS, and each time you break a TOS, you receive a $2,500 penalty. So each payment of bathwater that went through was a break of a TOS, which resulted in a $2,500 penalty every time without me realising. They wouldn't tell me which PayPal rule I broke, and they wouldn't give me any information because of a security risk. So I don't know if it's because they don't allow sex workers to use their platform, or if they have a specific issue with me selling the bathwater. Regardless, not even knowing felt shit. Sorry, up to a security risk. To be fair, that is really bad if that is true. Imagine being told you've broken a rule and they won't even tell you what it is, but they'll happily charge you a penalty. I think at some point in all of our lives, we've had some sort of interaction with a bot where we're trying to like get to the bottom of a problem, and then you just get a load of like just random waffle in your way and it's just not helping anything. And then you eventually just have to accept that you're screwed. So I guess I can relate, not to, you know, selling my bathwater, but you know, if there's a market for that, I wouldn't rule it out. I'm skint as fuck. But if I do ever do that, please don't tell people you got illnesses from me, because yes, Belle received this treatment. People claim that Belle's bathwater was giving them herpes. Although this was fake, many people believed it, which is quite funny. Or maybe it's just us being jealous that we never got our hands on the bathwater. Not us, just people in general on the internet, the people that aren't me. Anyway, I did some calculations, and if you divide the $2.5 grand penalty that she received by the price of units sold, which is $36. Well, at 69 units sold, the plug was pulled. You can read into that what you like, but the new age of Belle Delphine content is Ben 10 watch and a post about explosives at an airport, which involves her on her knees with a gun pointed at her head. How lovely. But anyway, that's all from me today. I did not expect to be making a Belle Delphine video in 2024, but here we are. Like and subscribe. Bye.